All right, y'all know the deal. We're back. 2 weeks in a row I've done this, so I'm on a little roll here. Um, Last week was week 5, so we're just going to go over the games, talk about them, how they went for some of us, and then head into week 6. Um, Obviously, we're starting with my game. I played Scott in week 5. I lost this game. This final score was 108.04 to 108.24. So I lost by 2 yards. If Alvin Kamara, remember there was 1 minute left in the game, and the Saints had that like dollar store general guy in a QB. They picked him up off the fucking street, and he threw a slant route. Kamara ran a slant route, and he threw the ball behind his fucking back. He catches that pass, I win this game. But it wasn't to be. Scott gets the win. Scott moves to 4-1. To be honest, Scott got lucky. If he played anyone else in the league, he would have lost. Also, again, I'm not going to give much credit to Scott because, all week long I've been trying to make some deals for a running back because I'm in running back hell currently. And I was talking with Luke, and Luke gave me legitimate reasons as to why he didn't want to trade for Puka. Fine. I was talking with Ethan. We couldn't come to a deal. I didn't really want the guys he was sending me, and he didn't want Puka either because of his injury. But Scott, I sent Scott a nice trade, right? I sent him a good trade. And it's not like I'm asking Scott to refinance his fucking car, right? I just wanted Najee Harris, who's not even, hasn't even, let me check. Najee Harris has not had a game this season over 15 points. And Scott is treating this fucking guy like he's prime LaDainian Tomlinson. I could send a trade to Scott with 2007 LaDainian Tomlinson, who scored 31 touchdowns overall in one season, which is a record, by the way, in the entire history of the NFL. That's a record. And I could send that trade in exchange for fucking Najee Harris. And Scott would have the gall to look at me in the face and go, oh, but I kind of like my team. I'm 4-1. I like Najee. I kind of fuck off, Scott. You're the most impossible person to negotiate with. It's ridiculous. It's like trying to get a Democrat to give money to people whose houses were destroyed by a hurricane. But in comes Lebanon, and there goes the money. That's what you are, Scott. You're a fucking Democrat. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had to get that off my chest. I've been thinking about it all week. Fucking Najee Harris. Who holds on? He's holding on to Najee Harris like he's worth $50 million in gold at Fort Knox. It's like, dude, whatever. I'm just getting worked up. Good win, though, Scott. Proud of you. And it was good seeing you last weekend. Next game was Beam versus Kinley. This one ended 125-119. Pretty good game. Beam gets his 4th win in a row. And he's just clicking on all cylinders, man. A win, and another win. So he moves to 4-1. Kinley drops to 2-3. Me and Kinley have the same record now at 2-3. We're in 8th and 9th. So really my focus is just doing better than Kinley at this point, because losing 3 in a row, Kinley's, he's right there with me. So I just need to keep the pace with him. But yeah, not much to say about this one. Let me check to see the players in this game. Kinley started Joe Flacco. Nice. Sorry. Mike Evans, of course. The Panthers had a really bad week last week, so Deontay Johnson didn't do much. Breece Hall, yet another week where he doesn't do anything. Achen got hurt. Let's see, Beam people were clowning Beam for picking Ramondre Stevenson. I was one of them. I was like, why would you pick him? I looked at the draft results, and I picked Zamir White over several running backs that are much better than him. I was thinking, yeah, Zamir White's up next. I don't know what I was thinking, because Ramondre Stevenson had 19, and Brian Robinson Jr. is good too, so maybe I'm just a retard. But Derrick Henry, yet again, a 16-point game. Geno in at quarterback. I still don't really understand why you traded Joe Burrow. Like, yeah, Gino will get you points every now and then, but I guess you have Kirk Cousins who had 34, but I don't know. It feels like you gave up quite a bit just to get James Conner, who had 14 points. Speaking of James Conner, okay, yeah, he's pretty solid, but I still think you gave up quite a bit for him. But I mean, you're 4-1. You've won 4 in a row, so can't say much about that. Good job there. Next game, oh my God, I didn't notice how close this game was. Chernobyl Tomahawks, Luke. This game ended 106.42 to 106.66. Luke gets the win, moves to 3-2, and then Spar drops to 0-5. Again, what I said last week about Spar still stands, but now it's even worse. I'm rooting for you. I hope you find a way to bounce back, but it is looking grim. It's looking grim. You're obviously the lock to finish last just because of your record, but crazier things have happened. I mention it every time, but Michael was 0-6 last year and didn't come in last. So maybe if someone finds a way to get Scott's bitch ass to make a trade, his team will tank and then he'll finish last, which is what I'm hoping for. Because I wish he would have given me Najee Harris. I wish he would have forked him over. But in this game, Jaden Daniels started in at quarterback for Spard this week for the first time all year. He got 19. Turned out to be the right decision, I believe, because Dak only had 16. Tank Bigsby on your bench had 25. Kind of hard to predict that he'd get 25, though. Darnell Mooney on the bench for Luke had 31. I see Joe Mixon on the bench. God damn it, Luke. I really wish you would have traded him to me. Obviously, he was hurt, which is why he's on your bench, but I really need a running back. Like, fuck. Give me Joe Mixon, man. Give me fucking Joe Mixon. But DeAndre Swift, another big week, 20 points. Nice. Wan'Dale Robinson is having, honestly, a really good season. Like, I think if you were to ask somebody, hey, man, is Wan'Dale going to be... Well, maybe if you ask a Giants fan, they would know more about Wan'Dale. Ask Spardella, I guess. But as an outsider of the Giants roster, it's not like when I looked at Wan'Dale Robinson on the draft board, I was like, yeah, he's going to be 15 points a week every week. But he is, 16-point game. Marvin Harrison Jr., only 5 points, but he's a rookie. I feel like each week is kind of hit or miss for him. And then Ayuk in the flex for Luke had 22. 8 catches, 147 yards. Big win for Luke. Really crushing a soul-crushing defeat for Spardella, though. 0-5, bottom of the league. He's playing like Man United are, man. He just needs to figure something out. I don't know if maybe you need to make some trades or maybe your guys just are underperforming. Tank Dell hasn't been really all that special this year. No, he hasn't. He doesn't have a game over 11 points. So maybe with the Nico injury, though, Tank Dell will get a larger role in the team. But, I don't know. We'll see. I'm rooting for you, kid. I'm rooting for you. Next game, this was a huge win for The Undertaker. 166 to 114. He moves to 1-4. Rocky drops to 1-4. The Undertaker versus Doc Rock's motherfuckers was that game. Cruz needed this so badly. So badly. He came in 0-4 just like Spardella did. And some people win and some people lose. Some people step up. Some people make some trades. Now, I don't know what Cruz did to get Beam to agree to make that trade. Maybe he gave him a little sloppy toppy or something. I'm not too sure, because trading Burrow and Garrett Wilson for James Conner, I mean, at the time I was just annoyed with people complaining about every fucking trade that gets made, but with a clear set of eyes now, with these blue light glasses on, I look at that trade and I don't understand it. I just don't understand it. Like trading Joe Burrow for James Conner is enough. The fact that you also threw in Garrett Wilson just does not make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, you gave up so much for James Conner. And I like James Conner. Good player, but fuck, man. Burrow had 33. Garrett Wilson had 29. T. Higgins had 29. Jacobs had 16. Fucking Minnesota's kicker had 16. I'm happy for Cruz though. 166 points. I believe he's the highest scoring team of the week. He really, really needed it. And I bet Cruz right now, I don't know what you're doing currently. You're probably at work, but I'm sure you're sitting down somewhere or standing up and you're thinking to yourself, fuck yeah, man. I just really trade Ray Hunter. I really just took advantage of him, bent him over the fucking coals, man. God damn it. Beam may have just affected the entire last place finish race. I think it's between, I mean, if I lose again next week, I could be in there. But right now, it's between Spard and Rocky. Cruz, I think, with Burrow, with the Burrow addition, so he can take Rodgers out, put him on the bench. With Garrett Wilson, I mean, if Garrett Wilson plays like this all the time, and if McCaffrey comes back, I mean, fuck. Cruz is not going to finish last. So I'm sure Cruz is happy. Cheers to you, my friend. Good win. Rocky, it's just another L. Bijan Robinson, like, I'm going to say this now. Maybe it's because he's on the Falcons and he's in like a Kirk Cousins offense where they kind of sling the rock a lot. But Bijan is a little overrated. Like, Bijan going top 5 in most fantasy drafts, he's not really, 16 points the first 2 games, 13, 11, and 10 in the next 3. Like, people are saying he was going to be generational coming out of Texas, but I honestly think that Jonathan Brooks might be better than him when he comes back. That's a bold statement. We have no idea if that will be true. It probably won't be. But when Jonathan Brooks comes back, I can't wait to see who's better. Because Bijan, I just think maybe he's not overrated. Maybe it's just the offensive scheme he's in. But he doesn't have one game with 20 carries. So they're just not really... I'm not high on him at all, really. And maybe it's just because he's on the Falcons. But so far, it's his second year in the league. So far, I just don't really... nothing he does really. I'm never like, oh my God, whatever. However, Brian Thomas Jr., I believe is his name. Brian, yes. He's been good. And last week was his best week all year. 5 catches, 122 yards, and a tutty. He's the best rookie receiver in the league so far. Him and Marvin Harrison Jr., I guess, but I feel like Brian Thomas Jr. has been a little bit more consistent. 3 touchdowns, 2 in the last 2 games. Got to keep him in the lineup. Who's on the bench, though? Tolbert on your bench, Rocky. Who would have thought that he would have 21? I don't know what else to say about your team, Rocky. You just need to start winning games. And honestly, if you come in last, I know that you're more man than Scott is. I know that if you come in last, that license plate is going to be on your fucking truck for the entire time. It's never coming off because you respect what it means to finish last. Scott doesn't respect shit, and he also won't give me Najee Harris. Moving on to the next game was Ethan versus NFL Youngboy. Another high-octane performance by Ethan's team. Another win as well. This one finished 130 to 119. I think, again, Baker, great. Nico Collins went out early in the game, but still scored 15. So, I don't know. He's on IR, so he's out for at least a month. But looks like, who do you have on your bench? Who can you replace him with? Malik Neighbors is out too. Damn. I think we might see a drop-off from Ethan's team just because of the injuries, but also Saquon coming back from a bye. David Montgomery's a beast. Your running backs are solid. Very solid. You still got Drake London. Ethan's team is dangerous. It is dangerous. If it's fully healthy with Malik Neighbors in there and a healthy Nico Collins and that running back duo, that's a good-ass team. It's a league-winning team. Drake London as well had a great week, 33 points. That's a team to look at. I think Scott is a fake 4-1 team, 100%. But Ethan is a real 4-1 team, obviously, because look at all the points he's scoring and the players he has, just better than Scott all around. This is basically just a Scott hate video. Garrett drops to 3-2. The curse of Tyreek Hill not having a quarterback continues. However, he did have his best game since Tua has been injured. 12 points, 6 catches, 69 yards. 69. Kareem Hunt back in the fucking saddle, dude. 18 points. Dalton Kincaid, I have him in my other league. He's kind of disappointing. Just really not as good as I thought he'd be. Let's see. Your bench, just a bunch of guys on bye. But, I think Garrett will be fine. Drops to 3-2, but, he'll be fine. He'll be fine. I like his team. It's better than Scott's. It doesn't have a better record than Scott, but it is better than Scott's. And then the final game, this was Sugar Shreve versus Nick Pirelli. Actually, Michael's the highest scoring team of the week with 169, not Cruz. I retract my statement. Michael won this, 169 to 116. 41 points from Jamar Chase. We got a 40 burger. I think that's the only one of the week. 193 yards, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. Chuba Hubbard, another solid week. Chuba is just, the only Panthers player that's worth a damn every week. I mean, sometimes Andy Dalton's good, sometimes he's not. Sometimes Deontay Johnson is good, sometimes he drops every pass that's thrown to him, but Chuba is always fucking good. With that O-line, Chuba's always good. So respect to Chuba. DJ Moore had a nice little revenge game against my team. 27 points, scored 2 touchdowns, 105 yards. He deserved it. We should have never traded him. I don't even want to get into that. Nick, Lamar Jackson had 33, but the rest of your team was kind of hot aids. Jerry Jeudy, it's such a shame. I thought Jerry Jeudy would be like the next big thing, but he fucking sucks. 2 points. He's on the Browns, though. Keenan Allen, I think Keenan Allen is just, he had 6 points, but I just think he's on a team now that kind of just, there's too many weapons on that Bears team, and he's kind of getting forgotten about. But Michael gets the win, moves to 3-2, and Nick is now 3-2 as well. Pirelli in 4th, Michael in 5th. Michael having a much better start to the season than he did last year, considering at this time last year he was 0-5. So I'm proud of you, Michael. I'm proud of you. Very proud of you. You're getting the job done. You're proving that you are not a slow starter. But those were the games last week. Time to move on to the games this week. I played Garrett this week. Currently it's 31-20. Debo had a good game. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I wish Geno Smith could stop overthrowing him because he would have ended this game with more points than he had. And then I think Garrett had Kenneth Walker in, who had 20 points. I'm obviously picking myself to win this game like I do every week. Moving on to the next game, Beam versus Luke. This one's projected 101-98. Just out of spite for Luke not taking my trade offer. And again, Luke, I totally understand why you didn't. But just out of spite, I'm picking Beam to win 5 in a row. He's moving to 5-1. He's going to get the dub. Next game is Spardella versus Pirelli. I picked Spardella last week and the week before, and I don't want to see him start 0-6, so I'm picking him again. I'm picking this guy yet again. I'm investing all of my fucking time. Well, actually none of my time, really. I'm investing a lot of my picks into Spardella, and I need one to hit. If this was DraftKings, I would be fucking broke, but we're rolling with Spard, Chernobyl Tomahawks, fucking get the job done, move to 1-5, please. I'm tired of seeing a winless team in the league, and honestly, it would be funny if you beat Pirelli. It would just be really funny. So I'm taking Spard. Next game, Ken Bob versus The Undertaker. I was going to pick The Undertaker just out of strategy, because then Kenley can drop to 2-4 and I can go above him. But then Cruz would just be 2-4 too. And if I lose, then I'm 2-4, and then we're just where we started. So I really don't know who wins this one. But just off that hot-ass performance from last week, I'm taking Cruz. With the trades that he's made, I just think, he's next up. He's leveling up here. He's risen from the dead. And it's time to take note. And everyone can thank Hunter Beam for that. So if, Cruz ends up winning the league, look to Hunter. Next game is a rivalry game, is what I would call it. This is Rocky versus Scott, battle of the former roommates. Definitely picking Rocky. Like, I was about to pick Scott, but I changed my mind. Definitely picking Rocky. I hope in this game that Najee Harris tears both his ACLs, and then you come to me and you're like, hey, I'm sorry, I need a running back. And then I can look at you, Scott, and I can give you the bird. Give you the nice big fucking bird, dude. I'm taking Rocky. Rocky moves to 2-4. Scott drops. Actually, I got this wrong. Jesus Christ, this is the second week in a row. I thought he was playing Scott because Ethan's profile picture is Scott. That's why I thought that. I'm really losing my mojo, man. I'm really just not. And I can't start the video over because it's already 20 minutes in. I'm not going to start it over. Rocky plays Ethan. I'm picking Ethan. I just think Ethan's team is better. I'm sorry, Rocky. I really wanted to pick you. I thought you were playing Scott, but you're not. Ethan got me with the profile picture. Every week I pick against Ethan and he wins. So this week I'm riding the wave and I'm going to pick Ethan to win, to move to 5-1. And then he will now be sole first place instead of tied with Scott. And then Rocky drops to 1-5 and really has some thinking to do, about, what bar he wants to sit in for 24 hours. Next game is Scott versus Michael. Again, 2 weeks in a row of me fucking up the matchups, but who cares? I'm picking Michael. Obviously, what I said earlier, I hope in this game that Najee Harris tears both his ACLs and you come to me and you're asking me for a favor on the day of my daughter's wedding. You never go against the family, Scott. That's like rule number 1, and you did. You spit in my fucking face. So Michael gets the win, moves to 4-2. Scott drops to 4-2, and then this is the start of Scott's demise, really. Yeah, that's the video. I really didn't have much to say in this one other than I just dislike Scott's trade negotiation tactics. I think they're garbage. I like Scott as a person, great friend, solid friend. But this is fantasy, man. This is a dog-eat-dog world, and I just hate the way that you negotiate trades. Just hate it. Just don't like it. So, good luck to everyone this week. Hope everyone has a good weekend. If I don't see you this weekend, just know that I am with you in your imagination or something. But we'll see what happens. And namaste. Chama.